Tonight, Kimber says yes to hosting a nuclear waste facility, and a Bathurst winner to headline the 2020 Teakle Auto Sprint.
With the latest from around the region, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening. Kimber residents have voted in favour of hosting a national nuclear waste facility. 90% of the district voted, with nearly two-thirds supporting the plan. Laura Milivanovic has more.
After years of debate and discussion, Kimber residents will finally have their say on whether they consent to hosting the nuclear waste facility. And they've resoundingly backed the concept. Over 60% of the ballots voted in favour of hosting the facility at one of two sites in the district.
It's a pretty strong message that this community is prepared to host this facility, whether it's the benefits that flow from that.
The Kimber Mayor has welcomed the decision, with a number of new jobs set to be created.
The 45 jobs that will be ongoing once the facility is constructed would be one of the most important things for our community.
Mr Ramsey says that this centre can give the community a boost in other areas as well.
There's a lot of upside. There will be a build on infrastructure within the community, being roads and possibly mobile phone towers to service the centre, maybe even some electricity generation.
While the vote was overwhelmingly in favour, it still left deep divisions in the community. Many residents took part in rallies across the state, worried about the impact it'll have on local farmland. Hawker residents will begin voting on Monday. After those results are confirmed, the Minister will have the final say as to where it will be built.
Broken Hill Police have thanked the community for information that assisted in 2 arrests within 24 hours. Officers say the 2 perpetrators are facing serious charges.
2 arrests in one day.
Members of the public and people just ring up information. It might be that piece in the puzzle that we're trying to have to solve these crimes.
At about 8:30 yesterday morning, police arrested a 21-year-old man wanted for an alleged break and enter that occurred in Patton Street last month.
This male person left without gaining any money or anything else, but it's a cowardly attack on a 74-year-old female person.
The second arrest taking place last night, a 19-year-old man charged with aggravated robbery inflicting bodily harm. Police will allege the man punched a shop attendant in a store in McCulloch Street before fleeing with cash from the register. The acting inspector praising the work of those who keep the public safe.
Look, it's not just the detective team in Broken Hill that have done these investigations, people from the Barrier Target Action Group and also General Duties Police and Scientific Police. We all work together to solve these crimes.
The Barrier Police District saying it's disappointing to see these alleged offences happening in the region.
We take these offences very seriously. It happened to members of our community in our town. It's not tolerated anywhere in the state of New South Wales, especially Broken Hill.
Patrick Reinke, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
2 drivers have copped heavy fines after being caught speeding on the Flinders Highway. One driver lost his licence for 6 months after being caught doing 161 in a 110 zone yesterday, also fined $1,700. Meanwhile, another was fined over $1,500 and also banned from driving for 6 months after being clocked doing 142 kilometres in a 110 zone on Thursday. Aquaculture company Clean Seas has donated more than $5,000 for Tunarama entrant Zoe Pratt. The Port Lincoln-based company is the major sponsor of the 17-year-old hopeful, as she tries to become the next Tunarama ambassador. Ms. Pratt is raising money for Lincoln Alive, a suicide prevention service ran out of the city. As the backlash grows against Broken Hill's new welcome signs, 2 local councillors have called for an extraordinary meeting. They want to see production of the remaining signs halted.
The signs many say are not welcoming. It's been 1 week since the first of 5 Broken Hill Gateway signs was installed, but it hasn't been well received. Dozens of unhappy locals have criticised the structure, calling it plain, boring and resembling a skip bin. Councillors Tom Kennedy and Bob Allgate now want an extraordinary council meeting to deal with the fallout.
As soon as possible, and councillors have the opportunity to speak about this, the community have the opportunity opportunity to go to a meeting, let the councillors know what they believe.
Councillor Kennedy wants to see construction of the remaining 4 signs stopped and a new design adopted. These designs from local Deanna Spicer garnering plenty of support.
It will entice people to get out of their car because the signs are so unique. People will want to get out of their car, they want to stand with the signs and interact with them and take photos.
I think this is a really good opportunity for council to use these signs as a nationwide and international promotion.
The city's mayor has her worries.
My concern now is that other people who may not have been selected back in May may now come forward and say, wait on a minute, I want my piece of work done as well.
The extraordinary meeting will be held on Tuesday. Patrick Reinke, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, a 7-time Bathurst winner to headline next year's Teakle Auto Sprint, and healthy eating the focus at a Port Pirie school. Welcome back. Revheads in Port Lincoln are gearing up for next year's Teakle Auto Sprint. 75 cars are set to roar into town, including 7-time Bathurst winner Jim Richards.
Speed and precision, that's the game of the Teakle Auto Sprint. Organisers today launched the 2020 motorsport event with some big announcements.
We're really excited to have 7 times Bathurst winner Jim Richards coming. He's agreed to be the ambassador for the event.
The Australian race car legend will compete against dozens of drivers on the track as they all gun for the top spot.
It's just really, really good to get someone of that calibre here in Port Lincoln.
Another new addition to the event will take drivers off the circuit and onto a long track, giving Revheads a chance to floor it.
It gives the drivers more opportunities to, to bed into the track.
The event also expected to rev up the local economy.
There's a lot of outside people that actually come into the city of Port Lincoln from an accommodation point of view, retail stores, service industries. It's really, really good.
75 cars are set to roar into town over the Easter weekend next year. Organisers say it's set to be a Revheads heaven, with cars reaching speeds of in excess of 160 kilometres an hour.
We go right through to the exotic European cars, the Ferraris, the Porsches, the Lambos, and they're all competing for the one prize, the Teakle Auto Sprint, winner.
Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Nominations for South Australia's risky roads have opened, with the RAA looking to find our most dangerous streets. They're encouraging locals to nominate a road in need of repair.
On the hunt for risky roads in our regions, residents are being urged to take part in the annual RAA survey.
It's very important that people provide us with feedback on areas that they find either confusing or potentially dangerous.
First conducted in 2017, the inaugural results helped secure major upgrades in Adelaide. However, this year they're hopeful of supporting the regions.
Regional areas quite rightly are concerned about the quality of their roads, whether they're minor roads or more highly trafficked arterial roads.
The RAA relying on road users to help understand what can be done to make roads safer.
We're really looking for any assistance in identifying those locations that people are finding confusing across the network.
Feedback includes things like overtaking lanes, hazardous shoulders and road conditions.
With the road surface itself, whether it be uneven or loose, slippery, or having potholes, the lack of sealed shoulders in particular, and the condition of shoulders generally, roadside hazards.
Mr Van Holst Pelican says there's a need for vital safety improvements in our region.
The Augusta Highway is another key area, and tragically we continue to see serious accidents and some deaths on the Augusta Highway.
Laura Milovanovic, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Students from Port Pirie St Mark's College are recreating a healthy canteen menu and learning the value in clean eating. Teachers say it'll also benefit them outside of school.
Fresh and delicious, these meals look too good to eat.
Today we're making and creating our own recipes for healthy food options in school canteens.
Teachers say this healthy cooking class is part of a bigger picture.
Kids have been able to see why it's important to eat healthy, what it does for their bodies, and why it's really important in adolescence to keep that up.
The meals are tailored to eat on the run. Students say their generation is now opting for healthier options.
We'll brainstorm ideas and like try and think, okay, like what would be good, like what meets the requirements, and then what would be fun and what would kids actually want to eat.
The program also helps them to develop life skills, with these Year 11s preparing to eventually leave home.
I've learnt a lot in food and hospitality, so I'll definitely take those skills with me, and like if I move out onto my own eventually, like I'll have all the cooking skills I need, which is really great, and I'll know the difference between like healthy and unhealthy.
With a high demand in the hospitality industry, teachers say it's also getting them to consider a career in cooking.
We do have amazing cafes and restaurants. We're able to get some students into them and help influence the choices we make.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
More than $140,000 has been handed out last night in Port Lincoln as part of the Bendigo Bank grant program. The local gymnastics club took out the top prize.
Jumping for joy as the local gymnastic club cartwheels away with more than $30,000.
We got the top grant. That's so amazing. Even to get a grant from Bendigo Bank is just so exciting for us.
Last night, 12 lucky community groups were awarded funds to help support its projects, from helping the homeless to supporting mental health.
The common denominator has been community engagement with an emphasis on youth.
Since the program started 5 years ago, more than $3.3 million has been handed back to the local community.
I feel proud to be able to do it, and we're doing it on behalf of our customers.
The gymnastic club is set to use the money to purchase new equipment to help athlete development.
It's going to help our coaches with helping the kids develop their skills with spotting techniques, and for them to be able to do skills safely with safe padding.
The Gymnastics Club in Port Lincoln was voted the #1 in the state and has really produced a great bunch of kids over the years, and we're proud to support them.
Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. We preview the weekend's cricket fixtures, and Ruby will have the weekend weather forecast. Hello again. A new short film collaboration between a Port Pirie dancer and filmmaker will soon hit international screens. Maria Savant says the opportunity was made possible by the recent round of Country Arts grant funding.
Planning the next stage of their short film, these two creatives say it's a step forward for regional artists.
The $8,000 grant from the South Australian Country Arts Trust to develop this short film about Dance for Peace.
Previously working in the field of dance and drama teaching, Maria now wants to extend a message of peace through her film.
I'm going to be using my modern dance technique, dancing barefoot in the landscape along the southern Flinders Ranges.
Port Pirie filmmaker Kim Mavromatis has previously worked on documentaries and says he looks forward to working on this production.
Really effervescent, a really creative writer, storyteller, so it's going to be a really great project, I reckon.
The funding welcomed by local leaders who say it will put the region on the international stage.
I think we need to make sure that we support arts at that local level in regional Australia, because we are all the richer for it.
The film will be available online once finished. Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A former AFL star will lace up the boots next season in Whyalla. Daniel Motlop has signed to play with South. He played 130 games for North Melbourne and Port Adelaide, winning the Power's leading goal-kicking award in 2008. Motlop was known for his freakish efforts in front of goal through his career. His move comes with Port Adelaide playing a pre-season game in the city next year. Good signing. Time now to preview the weekend's cricket action. Here's our experts with their tips.
Hello and welcome to round 5 of Port Pirie Cricket. This round starts with Props taking on Port Germain at Memorial Oval from 10:30. Germain broke through for their first win last week over Southport, while Props had a washout against Wandera. I'm tipping Props. At Port Oval, it's the undefeated Solly North up against Southport from 12:30. Solly North are looking the goods early in the season and should account for Southport easily.
Yeah, welcome to round 3 of Port Augusta Cricket. This week we see Corn take on West in Corn. Corn played in the last few grand finals, so I can't see West getting over Corn. The other match sees South Augusta take on Central Stirling. Central Stirling, last year's grand final winners, I think they'll easily account for Central Stirling at So there are my two winners, Quorn and Central Stirling.
Welcome to this week's Port Lincoln Cricket Tips. First game is happening right now, tonight, down at Ravendale, Tasmans and Waybacks. Going to tip Tasmans to get it over the line in this one. Next game sees Charlton and Todd River at Centenary. Going to tip Charlton to get over the line and bounce back and get another victory. And in the final game, Lincoln South and Southern Air South. Going to tip Southern Air here, just a little bit too strong all around the ground, and should get the job done against South. Thanks for listening to the Port Lincoln Cricket Tips.
Fourth round of Barra District Cricket this weekend, with last week's rounds being washed out. This will be the first lot of 40 over games. South take on Central on Saturday. This will be a very good game. I'll have to select Central on their form, but South are quite capable of causing an upset. In the second game on Sunday, North take on West. North at the moment are once again looking the side to beat. Their batting is very strong, and I think they'll hold too many guns for the West side.
And with a look at the weekend weather forecast, here's Ruby with the details.
Good evening. It's been a cool spring day today with a few showers across the region. Port Augusta reached 21 degrees, Whyalla showers in 19, Broken Hill and Port Pirie both 20, and Adelaide reached 18 degrees. On the satellite, cloud over southern South Australia is producing gusty winds and showers. Skies are otherwise clear. On the waters tomorrow, south and southwest winds reaching 20 knots, seas at 2.5 metres, and the sunrise is at 6:13 tomorrow morning. Cool but dry tomorrow, Port Augusta partly cloudy and 22 degrees, Whyalla at 20, Port Lincoln 17, Coffin Bay 15, Cleve, Broken Hill and Port Pirie all reaching 21, Clare 19, and Adelaide partly cloudy also 19. Looking ahead to the next 4 days, Port Lincoln partly cloudy and 20, Sunday gusty and warm on Monday, cooling down Tuesday. Cleve fine and sunny over the weekend, windy and 36 Monday, 19 Tuesday, and Woodner will be dry and warm through until Tuesday. Whyalla partly cloudy for the next 2 days, warming to 36 on Monday before a cool change Tuesday. Sunny conditions in Port Augusta, 28 Sunday, 37 Monday, windy, and 29 Tuesday. And Kadina has similar conditions, warming to 33 on Monday. Port Pirie will be fine and sunny all week, reaching 35 on Monday. Similar conditions in Clare, 24 on Tuesday. And Broken Hill, sunny conditions through until Tuesday, reaching 33 degrees. And that's the weather for now. Have a great weekend. John, back to you.
Thanks, Ruby. And that's the local news for another week. Louise Hedger will be back in the chair for the next fortnight on Monday. I'm John Hunt, thanks so much for your company. I'll have updates later, but until then, have a great weekend. On behalf of the team, it's good night.